So if you decided to click on this video, then you probably are super passionate about electronic music or music production in general. And while you care so much about this topic, chances are also quite high that you don't have enough of this in your life. You probably don't allow yourself to pursue that path fully, or at least to a degree that is more fulfilling than it currently is. Okay, my name is Phil from Pick Yourself, and actually the topic of this whole channel is to help you build a meaningful life based on your passion for electronic music. So make sure to subscribe if that resonates with you. And today I want to talk about this topic of allowing yourself to live the life you want to live that is connected to music. And this goes beyond just career decisions, this also goes into your personal life. So most of us are guilty of this, and I'm no exception, by the way. I used to live a strange double life back in the past. We tend to live a life that is kind of laid out for us in a certain way, by parents, by society, by what our friends are doing, by what is kind of expected from us. And it's really, really difficult to escape from that path and to actually make decisions for your own and stand behind them fully and also live with the consequences. And so I used to live a strange double life. So in my 20s, I was studying communication science at a really important university. I was even part of like the top 5% of students, imagine that. But I didn't give a damn about that degree at all. At the same time, the only thing that I really cared about was making music, producing, mixing and mastering, all these things that were connected to my true passion. And I paid a cost for that. I paid a huge opportunity cost for that. Now, opportunity cost means what could I have done at the same time? If I had used all my time to dedicate to music, it would have probably brought me on a different path. Now, that being said, I'm not unhappy with this path because I have learned all these lessons along the way. And actually that degree is still helping me in a strange way, I think. But yeah, it's definitely something where I would say I lived not to my true self. And the good thing is that later on in my life, I found out that I can course correct along the way, and that actually the thing that is laid out for me perfectly is maybe not the thing that I was supposed to follow. And I think this is part of the learning process, so don't feel guilty if you are still on a path that feels laid out for you, but it's not your true core thing. This is a chance for you to learn and grow and to take ownership of your life and to actually move things into the right direction. Now, I'm not talking about like throwing everything down and just making a massively bold decision and changing your life. But this can work, but for a lot of us, this is like a bit too scary, which is okay. You have to decide what degree of extremism you actually can endure. But it's about like changing your life in at least small increments, like small little steps into the right direction that actually lead towards better outcomes in the end. Okay, so the question is, how would you do that? So the first thing is to take ownership of the problem and really ask yourself a few tough questions. Tough questions that are related to what of this that I'm currently doing is actually coming from within, and what are some things that are kind of imposed on me? What are things that I think I'm supposed to do, but that actually aren't really serving my overall overarching goal? And dog wants to play. Okay, this video is still important, man. That's how much I care about you. My dog has to wait. So, did I leave off? Yeah, okay. The thing, asking yourself these hard questions. And another one of these hard questions is like, what kind of lifestyle do you actually want to live that is attached to that? So going beyond the career decision. Do you, for example, really want to live a full-time work lifestyle? Is it maybe okay for you to have a little bit of a part-time stability, but for the rest of the time you do something with music? Is that maybe enough for you, at least for a certain while in your life? Or do you maybe want to go full-time freelance? Is that the thing that you desire and that you have to allow yourself to do? And then also on the other hand, there are expectations by people like internet gurus, or maybe even someone like me, maybe think, okay, Philip wants you to burn all those bridges and go 100% into the music lifestyle, just doing something with music in your life. No, that's actually the opposite of what I mean. I want you to listen to yourself and to ask yourself these questions in all honesty. And even if you come up with, okay, no, it's actually fine to have a full-time normal career and actually enjoy it, but I want to have more of music in my life, in my private life, then yes, you have to design your private life in a way that allows for that. It's all about being honest with yourself and asking you these questions, and by the way, it never stops. A recent example that I can share with you is, most of my income comes from mixing and mastering and also coaching people. Now, the mixing and mastering is a lot of fun, and I used to care about this a lot in the past, but right now what I've noticed is that I'm still growing in that field, but I'm just growing in small percentages. I'm still getting better, but I've exhausted a lot of this possible growth in that area. Now, the problem here is that I'm the type of person who cares a lot about exploring new things and learning and growing at a certain rate. And so if I figure out that in one field I'm not growing quickly enough anymore, or that I've exhausted most of the growth, I tend to be interested in other things. So for example, this idea of creating videos and sharing content with people and helping them transform their lives, this is something where I'm still learning a ton. And so I'm shifting my life around in that direction. This doesn't mean that I won't do the studio work anymore, but it means, for example, that I'm expanding my team of engineers that work with me and for me in the studio, and that I'm not the only person who takes care of the mixing and mastering projects. And so this is a question of lifestyle design. It was difficult to let go of this identity of, yeah, I'm the studio guy, I've founded the studio business and I do mix and master, and everyone's just waiting for me to touch their records and turn it into gold. It's also used to be part of my identity, and this has now shifted into a direction that is even more true to who I am right now. And it might change again in the future, but I can see myself for the next 5 to 10 years following that path of sharing the things I've learned on the way with people like you who are watching right now. Thanks, by the way. And yeah, I want you to ask yourself these kinds of questions as well. Now, I hope that this was meaningful to you. I hope that this helps you get on the path of growth and be true to who you actually are, not following the path that was laid out for you, but actually the path that you decide to follow for yourself. Leave a comment below and let me know if this was helpful, and I will see you in the next video.